tell me about the phone call you got where they announced that in the next big match, you're about to be the first AEW black male world champion.
Oh man, it was a discussion amongst the office for a while, and it was once again it was that time of like you couldn't deny it anymore. The Nana was over, like Nana the manager was more over than a lot of the talent, and the song was generating millions at that point. Both of them, the regular and the remix. So the music video was like getting like 500,000 views. Like Bun B, West Side Gun are attaching to it. Freaking DJ Who Kid. Like, so now these bigger name artists are attaching to this. The movement was happening. Mm-hmm. And so it was like Tony didn't want to he didn't want the like cat out of the bag so quickly. So he's like, we're going to throw a surprise pay-per-view in St. Louis in April. Like, what's that? Like, we're going to call it Dynasty. Everybody's like, oh, okay. It was like a slow little process of it. Like, we're going to call it Dynasty. Like, we never had a pay-per-view called Dynasty before. Well, because it's for Swerve. And it was like, oh, shit. And people were starting to really put two and two together. And then it was like, it was before he even got to Tony, it was like the producers was like, oh yeah, the Swerve pay-per-view, the Swerve show. I was like, why y'all keep calling it the Swerve show? And then finally it was Tony who was like, this is where we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a Dynasty. We want this and that. We want everything to be built up for this. And then Samoa Joe's like, yeah, dude, like, this is it. This is your moment. I'm like, wow. And I'll never forget like all the friends, family that flew out to be there. It surprised me. Which is, I'll get to that in a second. The match happens. Actually, the finish of the match was like, I was supposed to double stomp Joe off the top, but I slipped and missed, and I overshot him, and I just landed, and Joe's still up there. I was like, I can still fix this. So Joe just stayed there, and I was like, then the whole match I didn't pick up Joe. So I had to get under the 350-pound Samoan Joe, hold him for a power bomb, and walk him out. I was like, you good? Yup. I just drop a power bomb. Regular Swerve stop, and I go right back up. And I just shoot right back up to the top. And I just hold it, and I see everybody stand up. I see everybody start standing with me. And I was just like, oh my God, this is power. This is powerful. And I just hold my head for like a quick second. I'm like, this is going to happen. This has to be the greatest maneuver I've ever done in my life. I just jump up, stomp, boom, 1, 2, 3. We make history in St. Louis, which is crazy because like St. Louis Rams, I grew up a Rams fan. So I was like, it's so crazy that this happens in St. Louis. Celebration happens. I go right to the confetti falls, go right to the people on my side that showed up, front row, came out there. I'm like holding the belt, pyro's going off. Nana's with me. Nana's career was supposed to be over like 10 years ago. And then he gets a resurgence back in AEW. That's why like AEW feels like the place where like you resurge. Like, oh man, we haven't heard about so-and-so. Come back to AEW, bow, like powerhouse. Christian. Well, Christian was like falling off. They let him go. Well, what is he going to do at 49, 50 years old? Comes back, man, best villain in wrestling. You know, myself, Bryan Danielson, like Copeland, like Ricochet now. Like, is this the place of like that? Like, you can resurge and become something new. And I'm like this, and I feel like I'm so important to the history of AEW now, not just because of the Black World Champion thing. I'm a testament to like, you never count anyone out. There's always a chance to come back and truly rebuild and revitalize something. And like, just because you're not worth something to somebody else, that doesn't create your value. You create that.
Well, Mark Henry, who I interviewed actually.
Yes, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, he actually threatened to punch me in the stomach because I referred to wrestling as fake during the interview. By the way, does that ever bother you when people say wrestling is fake?
I understand it now more. I used to be like, yo, man, come on, what are you doing? Like, don't disrespect my craft and my art like that. But now it's like the other channels calling it fake, like right after the fucking show, like okay, Like the industry standard is like saying that. And I was like, but there's still a lot of like, you can't call it fake when you're like inspiring people to like do, like you're telling stories and you're inspiring people. People cry at the end of matches. People like, that changes people's life trajectories. Like, I want to do this. I want to do this. So there's nothing like not real about that. The only thing that's like people are paralyzed from doing this shit, man.
Oh yeah, I remember when I interviewed Ken Shamrock.
Yeah,
who was a UFC champion and a WWE champion, and he said flat out he hurt himself way worse in WWE.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and you're not supposed to be purposely hurting people in WWE like you are in UFC, but yet he got way more hurt.
Yes. There's a reason why, like, even like Logan Paul is doing what he's doing now.
Oh yeah, he's always getting hurt. Yeah,
but he still takes big gaps between matches because doing it night in, night out, that takes years of really like training for that. To like prepare for one match every 3 months and still performing is great. The performance is great, but the art and the true professional wrestling is, okay, do that tomorrow night.
Yeah, every night.
In this city, 3 hours away. Now do that in this city. Now fly on across the coast and do that over in LA and stuff. That's the true art and the professional of it. That's a work rate right there. To still and never lose quality. That's what we have to go through all the time. So that's what like that's where it becomes like the true grit and grind of what we do. And that's the business of it.